Flight boss, bitch, you know, for sure. You're now listening to the Mind of an Terry's Moon. I'm Archangel Uriel, and I'm here to carry out God duties and motherfucking responsibilities. And right now, I want to talk about the motherfucking. Why does it pop on this? I want to talk about the rapture and what the rapture really is, because there's a lot of misconceptions about the rapture. So we're gonna talk about what's the rapture, the revolution, to relive, to revise, to reiterate, to redo, to restruct, to re-see. You know what I'm saying? To record, to remember, revise. You see what I'm saying? It's a lot of things that's dealing with the when we talk about the rapture, because people got a misunderstanding and misconception about the rapture. Now, this is what the rapture is. Now, let me make this disclaimer. The higher up you are, the more separate and alone you want to be. That's why to get to any high level of any state, conscious, whatever, the fastest way to get there is to have more alone time. Or alone time may be a strong word to use in this realm of reality. So let's say to be, or to be yourself, or to be in yourself, or to just be, or being yourself. So that's the closest way and the smallest way of explaining it, as trying to be separate. So when you be yourself, that's the strongest way you can separate yourself from others and be your unique self. So, but in a totality of things, the higher you is, the more separate you want to be. Now, the lower you is, the more together you want to be. So in the smallest mechanisms of explaining that, people who vibrate really low don't even know what to do with themselves when they're by themselves. They just have to call other people. They have to be around other people. They get bored real fast. You know what I'm saying? They got to be doing something. They got to have some type of sounds going. They got to be receiving some type of spirits. They get so used to being used as a vessel that they don't know how it feels to be themselves in so many words, in so many ways, shapes, and forms. You see what I'm saying? So they need a sound, a frequency, or they need to feel something, or they need to be around a bunch of other people so they can actually experience in the first place. And a lot of these people end up being scared of themselves a lot of times. So that's the lower you is, the more together you want to be. Now, it's like that in a totality level too. So you just being in a 3D realm and having a physical form, you're on a low spectrum of a realm of this totality realm of reality. So just in general, the more power your whole race can have is by coming together. Then you may even have certain people within your race who may develop a certain amount of consciousness, who may have understood that no, the smaller the better. You know what I'm saying? And we need to be more singular to what we need to do. You know what I'm saying? And then you will look at these people as, oh, these are people who try to act as gods. Or if it's a low vibrational person who's doing this, you will see at this person as being, oh, weird or standoffish or things of that nature. So that brings us to the conclusion of the rapture, because everything is going up and down, left, right, round and round, which create the flat earth shit and the round shit. You see what I'm saying? So there's no right or wrong to each side, because after being to yourself and being alone for so long, what happens? You end up wanting to be around people. But after you a type of person who like being around and partying and being around people so much, what happens after a while when you grow up? You start wanting to be to yourself. So it's just what spectrum you're on in your life right now. So let's get out of 3D real quick and go to the totality of things. Now that we got the disclaimer out the way, let's go to the totality of things. I'm Archangel Uriel. So let's talk about the actual rapture now. So all my Bible people out there, my religious people out there, I'm finna tell you what Archangel Uriel and the Rapture is really about. You see what I'm saying? Now, once a realm of reality understands that they're in a hell, aka they understand that they're up under something. They're up under a service. They're up under a government. They're up under a God. They're up. Anytime a realm of reality come to the conscious awareness that they're up under something, that means that species or that group of beings then came to a level of consciousness awareness of risen. It didn't go lower, it risen, because now they realize it's something on top of them. It's something above them. So once a group, see, like lower species in your realm of reality may not even dive into these concepts. So you as a race dived into a concept that has risen because you realize it's something. Now every species is going to realize it's something above them. Is this the level of how they realize it? Now you realize it's something as a race, human race. You guys realize it's something above you. So off the back, that creates the mechanisms of the imagination of, okay, you're below something, right? So it's going to off the back develop concepts of we need to come together in order to come up, right? To level up, right? You're going to have a lot of beings who understand that up nature or may have came from that realm of reality already and going to express knowledge is here of no. We need to be separate because it's the only way of keeping your true power. So now there's a big confusion, big mind fuck going on between the right and left brain, positive, negative, and that little middle source gets blurry because it's so much shifting going on right and left that the middle stance, the balance stance is blurry. It never stands still. You know what I'm saying? This is why the only time you can get there is standing still. Meditation. You see what I'm saying? And things of that nature. Smoking. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? But it's going so fast, shit get blurry. Gray areas. If this black and this white, all you really seeing is gray areas now. See what I'm saying? You're not seeing the one frame. You're seeing this one frame go through many different views. So now it looks like it's in motion. You know what I'm saying? So that one frame, you living out that one frame thinking it's in motion based upon all the different outlooks of that one frame. So if that one frame stands still, but you got this outlook to it, this outlook to it, this outlook at it, this outlook at it, this person looking at this, they all got different outlooks of that one picture. So when they all have to come into agreement at some point where they all looking has to look like this to all of them for them to come to an agreement. Because it's never going to come to an agreement if they all see it like this, but one person right here and another person over here, and then you got one person right here, one person right here, one person right here. It's all different ways to look at that. So how you going to come to an agreement? So here's what happens. That's the only way it can be an agreement. The more people, the more the agreement, the broader out. So when you have agreements in certain spectrums, you see what I'm saying? It turns into light, like colors. So you got this spectrum, and then to you it look like colors or a rainbow or something like that. But where the realm of reality I come from, that's how it looks. It don't look like a rainbow or nothing like that. It look like how I'm talking about it right now. You see what I'm saying? So what you have to understand is you could take this to how you look at us developing armies, and then you could look at how you a higher consciousness than an ant. So you could do more separate shit than an ant. But an ant, they have to really come together and create colonies to support what they got going on. So, let's get into the rapture now. As a rapture, it's all about rising up. But then you realize you need more understanding to rise up. You need to receive more to rise up. You need more frequencies to bounce off to rise up. Because if you don't know nothing, you're vibrating low. So your frequency is low. So you're not resisting nothing. So the frequency you in is stagnated. But as soon as you start resisting that frequency you in, boom, you start to vibrate higher. Boom, 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 boom. And the more you get to do it, the more you can be consciously aware of to, boom, you can vibrate high and low, high, super and low. To the point that you start understanding the whole spectrum I was just talking about. If that spectrum was in it. Your vibration ain't just in one of them. Your vibration like boom, boom, boom. So your vibration is seeing these spectrums going down all in the gray area to the you seeing all the color spectrums within. You see what I'm saying? The higher you vibrate. Now, for the rapture, once a race understands it needs to come together, what happens is it becomes the totality of the being is in. Same way how you got a lot of emotions and feelings and thoughts and shit within inside you that needs to come together. If it ain't working, if you sick and getting sick and shit, something's not working. So you have to get things working. That's you getting all your cells and shit. They might got their own personal life, but you as a totality being, the better they're consciously aware of knowing what they're supposed to do to get themselves together and make things work, the better your shit work. And you help them out by being consciously aware of whatever realm of reality you in. So the better you get an understanding of what kind of foods to intake, whether you need to be a vegan or not, or the more and more you help your body or exercise or whatever you got to do to help your body. I just smoke. You know what I'm saying? But the more and more you help your body, that's in this realm of reality. In their realm of reality, how they see it, they may just see it, sidetrack it. Look at it like you a cell within a body. You'll look at it like it's thunderstorms and shit like that. So we got to create type of circumstances for us to survive in these thunderstorms. You know what I'm saying? So let's create houses. Let's create this so we can all survive on this land and keep things going in the society. Boom. Now take yourself out of the situation now. You're doing the same thing you're doing with your blood cells with inside you when you're getting your emotions and feelings together. And when you're trying to get yourself together in any kind of way. You see what I'm saying? So as a rapture, right? You are in Earth right now. So a lot of Gaia, Torah. So a lot of theologies and you came to this realm of reality for a reason. You must needed to learn the Earth aspect in some type of way, and you must had to learn how to relate how to actually fully consume a earth prospect with the rest of your elements. You know what I'm saying? That's one of the human reasons why they're here. Because one of the reasons you came here, you chose to come here, and one of the reasons you was enticed by this light because it was a shit you felt like you need to learn. You was like, let me experience this. You know what I'm saying? And however you was frequency vibrating from a totality scale, you may have lacked this experience. So you're always moving, you know what I'm saying, to other realms of realities to become a soul as a spirit, to get into a vessel to become in a body, to move it with your soul, because your movement is your vibration, your movement, your emotion, your time, your seconds, your experience, your time, your age, and whatever vessel you in. So you see what I'm saying? So when you diving into these realms of realities, you got to understand that when you all learn how to come as one, right? You become that one being. But I mean on a totality scale. This is what you're here to learn how to do on Earth so you can elevate. Because you can think you can become everything, but you're still in Earth, right? Same way, think of when you just have peace. That means all your body is at one, or you at wholeness. So that means, and your piece of this wholeness, you complete with that. So your own wholeness within this piece. That's where the peace came from. You know what I'm saying? You at one. You know what I'm saying? So this is how you get consciously aware and elevate, right? So you could be as one as an individual, but eventually to elevate on any scale, everybody gonna have to get on one accord as if they truly want to elevate, like how I'm really trying to explain the rapture. You see what I'm saying? And people do the rapture all the time in small organizations. Every religion is doing raptures when a group of people come together. But I'm gonna tell you this on a totality scale and what'll actually happen. You see what I'm saying? So when everybody comes together as one, they actually become the energy force of that one being. You see what I'm saying? Then you will be so all your cells in you, right, will become you. And this is why you who you are. Because at some way, shape, or form, the DNA, when it started mixturing and shit like that with your spirit, and your spirit started getting into a vessel, you know what I'm saying, as the DNA structure your vessel, that was ran by this Elohim and shit like that, engineered this shit with this vessel and how it's created here, right? It's for you to inhabit. And then when you get in this vessel, you're here to be all as like one. Like everything is complete one. You see what I'm saying? So it all collapses. Now you. Everything collapses, and now you. So you, how you figure you just one person? You think you just one person, but you probably a million people inside your own life. You probably a million people inside you. So just think about, this is what's going to actually happen if it actually was the rapture. If everybody on earth came to one thought, right? AKA that's going to be one frequency, one space, one idea, one spirit, basically. So if everybody came together on that accord, then if everybody had a certain feeling and emotion, if everybody had that same feeling and emotion based upon that thought, like if everybody agreed on it, boom, that's going to be one vibration. You know what I'm saying? One massive soul, one experience, one illusion that's being manifested, right? Then when that get trickled into energy, and that's going to be so much energy. Just think about everybody in the world, in the country. Everybody got on, use whatever, how we utilize to connect with each other, and said, this is the Pacific time, we're going to do it, and we all do it at this Pacific time, right? Then the energy that come from that, from what matters, that turns into, because everything is frequency, vibration, and energy. If everybody got on one accord with the frequency, one accord with the vibration, then the energy that's going to happen is, you think it's going to be death or transformation, but it's not going to be that. But this is how it's going to look. It's going to look like everything is going to cave in. It's going to look like everything on this planet is going to cave in to one thing. You see what I'm saying? It's going to look like it's a thunderstorm. And the whole point is not to get scared, not to have no fear. See, there's a lot of things everybody have to learn on Earth. That's why we all here on Earth already, to learn these things. So after 1,000 years of coming back, we can all be on this accord. But I'm trying to push it up a little bit so we can all do it faster. You know what I'm saying? Just in the next few hundred years. But you know what I'm saying? We have to eradicate all fear, all that, because it's going to be thunderstorms, it's going to be rain, sun, all this going to be at the same time. It's going to be like a tornado, hurricane, a storm. It's going to be sunny. It's going to be bright. It's going to be a hot day. It's going to be a cold. All that going to start doing it at one time. You know what I'm saying? And then, but it's going to be so much energy, you're not going to feel it like it's death, because it's not separate. Remind you, we're not having a separate thought, aka like your separate family member didn't die, so just that family thinking of that, then other people got their own problems to think about in the next house. And it's not like that. Everybody in the world gonna be on one frequency. You see what I'm saying? So that frequency of spirits, of people thinking of death like that, is not even going to be occurring. Then the way people feel about it, we all gonna be on one vibration. So that feeling and emotion is not even going to be of people being scared of death or things. It's not going to be there. It's going to be a whole different realm of reality. I'm saying, and if y'all let me be the one who create the thought, the frequency, and the vibration, I'm telling you, it's going to be some shit. Y'all we gonna experience some shit, but we all have to, it's going to be hundreds and hundreds and thousands of years of people coming back and forth before we all get on one accord, like what I'm talking about right now. But I've seen this done before in different galaxies, different solar systems here, and shit like this. This ain't nothing new. This shit ain't nothing new. You see what I'm saying? What I'm talking about right now, it's nothing new. Now, once that happened, once you on Earth, once that happens here, you will become the Earth. So you see how you a person, how you just think who you are in this conscious reality, you can control what. That's how you will be. But in the smaller realm of things, that's all of us together. We all is Earth. So now we'll all be working out as, you know what I'm saying? We come higher than the blood cells. Now we will receive blood cells. We won't be the humans in the earth no more. We will be Earth. Same way you Earth, you God, like that, you will be that. But I'm trying to get you to understand how the higher up, the lesser it get, because the higher it is, everything eats everything. Just like from the dimensional point of view. You know what I'm saying? From a third dimension, you're going to get ate up by fourth dimensional beings. From a fourth dimensional realm, they get ate up by fifth dimensional beings. Fifth dimensional, from that realm, they get to the point that there's only a few people left. There's only a few beings left. You see what I'm saying? And then their ways of getting energy may be different. And you may know how to tap in those kind of ways by tapping in being a crystal being. Being able to receive energy without external ways. You know what I'm saying? Without eating or without receiving any energies from these lights and things of that nature. But for the most part, when you want to talk about as coming together as one, that's a totality. That's the real rapture. Any of these small raptures y'all talking about, those happen every day. That's why we get many thunderstorms and shit like that every day, based upon a collective emotion. We create the rain. when it rained. We create the thunderstorms. They created them hurricanes. You know what I'm saying? If you don't believe me, listen. If you live in a small city and and the person who died in your city, say like everybody knew that person, or that person holds some type of weight, somebody, that person was connected to people emotionally, people picked up that person's frequency because they knew that person, they knew the idea that they knew who that person was, and that person, it would rain in that city when that person died, if everybody feel an emotional way about. Now the bigger the city is, the more is it might not, because a person dying in a bigger city, there's more people in that city, so it may not resonate strong enough to create it may not be enough people on a collective that's on one frequency and one vibration to create a massive energy. So what you have here is you got like a set of beings that's just singular to themselves here on earth, and what they're doing is creating through they're playing like oversouls here, but they like three-dimensional beings like you, and they're creating mass frequency vibrations. And when large masses of people tap into it, it creates the energy of the effect of the idea in the first place. The idea is the original thought of it, the spirit. What is that timeline? What does that line of events consist of? AKA, what was that spirit? What was that thought? What did they come up with to do? What was the idea of that? Then, once they can reach that to enough people to feel a certain way about it, right? To have an emotional stance about it. Now it's a living force. You see what I'm saying? And once it's a living force, right? It can be ready. It matters. Now it can be brought into existence because it's enough experiences, and it went through enough matter and atoms and shit and gained enough mass to become solid now. So now it's gonna start coming into reality, into this realm of reality. So it's like you just bringing some ninth or seventh or some eighth dimensional shit down into the third dimension. But you got beings here in the third dimension that know that's what they're doing. You're doing this also, you just don't know that's what you're doing. You see what I'm saying? But I'm just trying to give y'all the concept. That's the real rapture. The rapture is anytime a large masses of conscious beings coming together to on one frequency vibration to become that actual energy source itself. You see what I'm saying? Then once we all be Earth, we'll be up in another realm of reality. Same way when you came from the first dimension as a spirit, bunch of sperm cells or just that a bunch of line of events, bunch of thoughts, right? Then went into a realm of reality. Now you're able to experience. You see what I'm saying? Because now you have a time. Now you become a soul, right? And get ready to go into a vessel. So you came into a hole. And once you came into a hole, now you got a bunch of different spirits going into souls within you. AKA you got a bunch of different cells and different things within you now. You play the whole role, right? Now you on a level of consciousness where you can understand that from a totality. Because I'm here now to tell you that kind of shit. You see what I'm saying? But yeah, that's the totality of the rapture. And I'm pretty sure throughout this video, you probably thinking like, dang, when was he took this long to get into the rapture? No, everything I was saying was the rapture. It's just your misconception and the illusion that you was in that made you thought of the rapture, of how you was thinking about it, to the energy that you thought I was tapping into to talk about it. You see what I'm saying? Flight boss, bitch. Goddamn air.